welcome back to the Jetbackup tutorial series. In this video, we'll be covering the permissions section of Jetbackup 5. We'll go over the interface for managing permissions and provide an overview of how permissions work, as well as cover some important permission settings you may want to utilize yourself. As always, this tutorial as well as many others are available at jetbackup.com/tutorials. To begin, we'll start by navigating over to the Permissions tab for a quick overview of the Permissions GUI. Starting at the top of the page, we have a few important items of note. On the leftmost side of the page, we have the Reset to Defaults button, which will change all permissions back to their default state from when Jetbackup was installed. To the right of this, we have the Type dropdown. This dropdown is critical when setting permissions, as it decides whether a permission change is applied globally or to a specific account. Selecting Global will cause a permission change to apply to all accounts on a server, and selecting specific permissions will allow you to apply changes to individual accounts. If you select specific permissions and then type the name of the desired account, you'll be able to set permissions for that specific account. Immediately to the right of the Type dropdown, you have the Search menu. The Search menu allows you to search for a specific permission. As there are a large number of permissions, this feature can be helpful with speeding up setting individual permissions. In the center of the page, we have the permissions list. By default, all controllable permissions are listed here. On the right of each permission, you have the permission selector. Selecting Yes here will allow an account to access the feature associated with that permission. No will disable it. The Never option functions the same as No, but also prevents the selected permission setting from being overwritten by specific permissions. When setting specific permissions, all permissions will default to Inherit, which will refer the permission setting to the value set globally. We'll cover a couple example permissions in this section to give an overview of how it looks when a permission is utilized, as well as cover some important use cases. Starting off, it can be useful to disable certain features, either globally or for specific users, that can have an impact on system performance if abused or utilized improperly. One such feature would be downloads. As downloads must be stored locally on the server, frequent use of the download feature by larger accounts can lead to overuse of disk space rather quickly. A simple solution for this would be disabling the feature either globally or for large individual accounts. From an end user's perspective, you'll no longer be able to see the Downloads tab when you access your Jetbackup menu. Additionally, if we want to remove certain specific items from an end user's control, for example database backups, we can do so here by setting that permission to No. On the end user side, again, database backups simply won't be available in the interface. As always, if we're unhappy with any changes made or make any changes accidentally, you can always quickly revert to the default Jetbackup settings via the Reset to Defaults button at the top of the menu. And with that, we'll conclude our tutorial on the permissions section of Jetbackup 5. In our next video, we'll be covering the hooks interface of Jetbackup 5. As always, this and all of our other Jetbackup tutorials are available at jetbackup.com/tutorials.